Last week we returned from Nepal. We had spent some time in Sindapalchak region for a couple of days doing aid, then returned to Kathmandu, and then made our way to Gorkha region, which was also really hardly hit by the earthquake.
It was me and two other Portland firefighters, Lisa Knight and Chris Butler, and then Lisa Knight's sister, Heather Knight, and my father, Richard Friedericks. No, we didn't do a whole lot of rescue work. We did a lot of treatment of injuries, and we built the clinic, which aren't necessarily firefighter skills, but they, I think, coming from this firefighter culture, we're get it done kind of people, and we don't really wait around for people to tell us how to do things. And we took that mentality to Nepal, and the first organization we were with, we felt was being pretty ineffective. And so we split off from them, and within 6 hours we had met with the WHO, the World Health Organization, and we had a direct assignment that was linked to the government.
You know, the Nepali roads, there's just nothing straight. It's all, you're going up and around, and very, very narrow roads. It's really hard to tell because Nepal is a developing country, and so it's not uncommon to see, like, you know, piles of rocks that, you know, are getting ready to be made into something. So yeah, it was a little difficult to tell sometimes if it was damage that was caused by the earthquake. But in the village that we were in, they gave us a couple of different tours so that we knew what had been caused by the earthquake and what was just, you know, normal. There's something about Nepal where I can't explain it, I can't put it into words necessarily, but it's just life slows down, and you will come back and you will feel like a different person.
And it had been 24 years since I'd been back to Nepal, and my parents had been a bunch, and they had told me that things had changed, but I didn't have any idea how they had changed. So I was a little nervous what to expect, and especially after an earthquake, it's just hard to imagine what you might come across. And the minute I walked out of the airport, my Nepali started coming back. It makes for a different experience being able to speak the language.
My first time in Nepal was last October. We were there when the blizzard hit, which took out a huge portion of the Annapurna circuit. There was avalanches and people died. We were just a little bit further to the east of that in an area called Manaslu. We were there for about 3 weeks, and Nepal just captured my heart.
The most rewarding part was being able to build a health clinic in Ganku. It was pretty remarkable having the community come together the way they did. They provided all the bamboo and the labor free, and so we could actually build the clinic and get it up and running in 3 days.
The Nepali people that were of a means to actually be able to make a difference were making a difference. Quite frankly, the government, they were doing the best that they could, but the reality of it is that we're now, like, what, 4 weeks out from this earthquake, and there's still villages that have not gotten aid.
Typically in Nepal there's a caste system, and it seemed to me like that was completely wiped away, at least for the few weeks of immediate disaster relief.
Well, I think, like most people that go and do aid work, I think we kind of had these grand illusions about, like, what we would be doing. We arrived, oh gosh, about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks after the earthquake had happened. People were going back to their normal lives. However, there's a lot of damage, and so there's a lot of you know, those urgent issues, the acute issues, all had been taken care of. WHO and the Nepalese government was really cracking down on just people randomly showing up to Nepal to help. We were able to connect with this organization, and they were able to get us into the country. Once we left Chaku and went to Ganku, and, you know, connected with WHO and actually had an assignment and could really kind of form a relationship, I think that's when we were able to really feel like, okay, we've made an impact. Building a medical outpost, I mean, that, to us, that seemed very simple, but for a village of 2,800 people, that's like where they go to get their medical care. So we were in Ganku during the second earthquake, and I was leaning against a building, like, writing in my journal, and the next thing I know, like, the ground is moving. That was a little scary.
I'm glad that I'm home with my family, but it's also hard being back because I know how much more work there is to be done in Nepal. The Nepali people are resilient, and they're going to be okay in the long run. And there is a ton of devastation. It's just a matter of assisting the Nepali people in coming up from the setback, as opposed to taking pity on them and just doing things for them. They're gonna, from what I saw, they're gonna, you know, band together and make things work. And it'd be really helpful if us in the West shared some of our wealth.